You know, we all like to think we're pretty sharp, don't we? That we see things for what they really are. Well, today, we're going to put that to the test. We've got a few classic, tricky puzzles that are specifically designed to trip up even the quickest minds. So, are you ready to see if you can spot the twist? Now, the thing about these puzzles is that they're practically designed to fool your brain's natural instincts. They look really simple on the surface, but every single one has a hidden trap, some tiny little detail that, let's be honest, most of us completely miss the first time around. So let's dive in and see how you do.
All right, first up, we have what looks like a super simple business deal. A little bit of buying, a little bit of selling. It seems like just basic math, but is it really?
Okay, so here are the facts. A dealer sells two planes for the exact same price, 600 pounds each. On one of them, he takes a 20% loss. On the other, he makes a 20% profit. So what's the bottom line here? Did he break even? Did he make some money? Or did he lose it? Go ahead. You can pause right here. Seriously. I'll wait. What does your gut tell you? For most people, the immediate, almost instinctive answer is that he broke even. I mean, plus 20%, minus 20%, it just feels like it should all cancel out, right? But is that gut feeling correct?
And here's the trap. Our brains just assume that the 20% is being calculated from the same number, but it's not. It's based on the original cost of each plane. So for the plane he lost money on, that 600 pounds was only 80% of what he paid for it, which means the original cost was a much higher 750 pounds. But for the profitable plane, that same 600 pounds was 120% of his cost, which was only 500 pounds. See? It's the same percentage, but of two totally different amounts. So when you actually lay out the final numbers, it becomes crystal clear. He spent a total of 1,250 pounds to acquire both planes, but he only brought in 1,200 pounds when he sold them. That 150-pound loss on the more expensive plane was just too big for the 100-pound profit on the other one to overcome. And there you have it, the final answer, a 50-pound loss. That gut feeling that he broke even? Totally wrong. It just goes to show, a 20% loss on a big number hurts a whole lot more than a 20% gain on a smaller one helps. Okay, so puzzle number one was all about faulty assumptions in math. This next one, the Draper's Race, is a bit different. It's about a faulty assumption that's hidden in plain sight, right there in the words themselves. Right, there are a lot of moving parts in this one, so stay with me. You've got a grocer weighing 2 parcels of sugar a minute, then you've got a draper cutting fabric 3 times a minute. They both have a task that involves the number 48. Then there's this weird 9-minute interruption where for some reason the draper is stuck waiting 17 times longer than the grocer. With all of that chaos, who actually finishes first?
Go on, take a second with this one. You might be really tempted to pull out a calculator and start crunching all the numbers on their work rates and delays. And, you could do that. But are you absolutely sure you're solving the right problem?
And there it is, the one tiny detail that changes everything, the one assumption that almost everyone makes. The grocer has to perform 48 separate actions, but the draper? Well, to get 48 pieces of cloth from one single long roll, you only need to make 47 cuts. Think about it, that very last cut creates 2 pieces at once, and that one missing cut makes all the difference in the world. So let's see how that actually plays out. The grocer's task takes him a straight 24 minutes, and with his tiny little half-minute delay, he clocks in at 24 minutes and 30 seconds. But the draper, because he only needs to make 47 cuts, finishes his actual work in under 16 minutes. So even with that massive 8.5-minute delay, his total time is still faster. And there it is, the draper wins by just 20 seconds. The whole thing came down to not assuming that 48 pieces meant 48 actions. It's a perfect example of how the most important details can be hidden in the simplest words.
All right, for our final puzzle, we're shifting gears. We're leaving the math tricks and the wordplay behind. This one is a test of pure, old-fashioned deduction, where the final clue isn't a number at all, but a single word. Okay, listen closely. Here are your clues. A farmer's animals came from 5 identical droves, so we know the total number has to be divisible by 5. They were sold to 8 different dealers who all bought the exact same amount, so the total must also be divisible by 8. We know the prices, $17 for an ox, 4 for a pig, 2 for a sheep, and we know the total sale was exactly $301. So, what is the biggest number of animals he could have possibly had? This isn't about a quick trick. It's about pure logic. You've got to work backwards from the clues you've been given.
Just based on the setup, what do we know for sure about the total number of animals? Go on, pause here, and see if you can find the logical starting point.
So here's the logical chain. If the total number of animals is divisible by 5 and it's divisible by 8, then it absolutely has to be a multiple of 40. That's our key. That's the whole thing. So now we just need to test the multiples, 40, 80, 120, and so on, and find the highest one that can be made up of animals that cost a grand total of $301.
Okay, so after running the numbers, it turns out the highest possible total is 120 animals. Great. But wait a minute. There are actually two different combinations of 120 animals that add up to $301. The first, 1 ox, 23 pigs, and 96 sheep. The second, 3 oxen, 8 pigs, and 109 sheep. So which one is correct?
And the answer, the final clue, was hidden in the original problem description the entire time. It said the droves consisted of oxen, pigs, and sheep. Oxen, plural. A single ox is not oxen. It's just a beautiful, sneaky little trap hidden in basic grammar.
And that one word means the solution with only 1 ox is impossible. It's out. The only possible answer is the second one, 120 animals in total, made up of 3 oxen, 8 pigs, and 109 sheep. A puzzle solved not just with math and logic, but with a dictionary.
So after all that, what have we really learned from these 3 puzzles? Well, each one, in its own unique way, exploits a specific cognitive shortcut that our brains just love to take.
The first puzzle tricked us into assuming percentages always apply to the same base number. The second one made us assume that 48 pieces must require 48 cuts. And that last one almost got us because our brains just glossed over a simple plural word. Each puzzle works by exploiting our brain's desire to take a shortcut. And they're a fantastic reminder that our first instinct isn't always our best one. And that's really the big takeaway here, isn't it? These are fun little puzzles, sure, but they point to a much bigger truth about how easily our own assumptions can lead us astray. So the real question to leave you with is this. Where in your job, or your finances, or even your relationships are those quick, unexamined assumptions tripping you up?